Hello and welcome to JP Murray's Association Hustle Podcast. President of the Murray Company, JP's mission is to arm today's associations with insight and strategy to thrive in a progressively complex and competitive business landscape. 21st century associations must move forward with a little bit of hustle and revenue development at their core. Here's JP.
Why is business development and sales a black box for so many associations? We're going to open up that little box today and we're going to get right in there and look at it. I've been in the association sales game, business development, whatever you want to call it, for the better part of 20 years now. I started with my first job at the National Association of Personnel Consultants. I came out of the basement of the mailroom to edit their magazine, and then this involved selling advertising and ads to companies. Then I was fortunate to be one of a two-person shop at the American Trucking Associations and its Freight Claim and Security Council. We sold membership, sponsorship, newsletter sales. They were all involved in that and got a hand in doing those things. Then the U.S. Chamber of Commerce opened up a broader set of business development opportunities for me. That included membership and sponsorship and affinity programs, and man, a great brand behind it, and had sales folks that worked with us and collaborated, and they did great work and they deserve the credit. Then I converted over to Smart Brief, selling partnerships to associations. I learned the value of tracking activity in pipelines. I first got my exposure, I think, to Salesforce, the CRM at that time. And now for 10 years plus, launching a business for associations, I've not only been selling our services to them, but I've learned so much about selling membership and sponsorships and ads and exhibits, or consulting our association clients on member value, pricing, and all the things that you need to be in place to sell and take advantage and leverage and monetize the opportunity. And here's why this sales thing, from all of this learning, is so difficult for associations. But it isn't a black box. It's not a dark arts class at Hogwarts. The main reason is because the source of the problem has not been identified or addressed. And my good friend, Ray Green, my former U.S. Chamber of Commerce colleague, mentioned this in a video recently, and it really resonated. The real issue is, can the association identify the source of its business model struggles? Lack of revenue is often a symptom of what is right underneath the association's nose. Many executives believe when they come to me, they've got a sales problem. It just requires a person with a list to make phone calls, and then all their revenue challenges will go away. And frankly, that's just not the case. But here's what I have learned. These are the major barriers, or some of the sources of the problem that we often see. Number one, the data is not very good. The contact information is old. If you've been contacting the same people at a prospective member business and they're still non-members and you expect something different, well, you know what they call that. The other thing I see is the pricing and the dues levels are out of whack. We changed our membership dues a decade ago, is something that I often hear. That is just not good business stewardship. We've got to adjust. We've got to adapt. We've got to make sure that the pricing structure is relevant. Because often what I see, frankly, is that the dues levels are too low. You couldn't sell enough memberships to make it worthwhile. The difficulty of selling a $200 membership compared to a $20,000 membership is not that much. It's about the same. The third thing I see is the ability to ID your value proposition, your benefits, and then find the companies that are the best fit for that program. A lot of times we hear this, well, Microsoft ought to be a member. Well, the biggest company in the industry ought to be a member. Really? I know you want them, then that's great. But what do you have in place that will really move the needle for that company? That's where we've got to come at it from. What's our value prop? What are the benefits? Who do we help the most? And what other companies would that be a fit for? Not the other way around. Number 4, there's very little process or reporting. The leadership in the organization has no idea what the sales team is doing. There are no reports. There's very little feedback. They frankly ignore the sales team and just hope they do a good job. Or they just lean on them to call and call and call, and they don't really know what the symptom of the issue is, and then it becomes a sales problem. And then they just hire another salesperson, and they don't do worth a damn either. Or then, at the last resort, they call JP Murray, and to be honest with you, yeah, we can make some improvements, but if these other things aren't in place, I can't help you. So, how do we unpack the black box? Well, I got some ideas. First, what is the clear benefit? What are the stories you have of delivering on that benefit for a specific company? And please have them give me a testimonial about it and how you crushed it for them. I want to take that story to scale. Based on a review of your business and what is needed to sustain it, is the price right for the membership or the sponsorship program? And is it relevant, or does that collaborate with the business realities of today? Then 3, get a list of the best companies that will be aided by this clear benefit we've identified, and that they have the resources available to pay you to do that. And then let's check the company data. Do I have the right point of contact? Do I have accurate information about how to call them, how to email them? Can we get to the right person? Finally, I'll develop a sales process. How are we going to connect all these dots and clearly record every step of the way? When all of those things are in place, I think your likelihood of success goes way up, man. The challenge is often we don't connect all those dots. We leave it in that black box separated. We may pull out one thing, but we don't address all of them together. And I think that's the secret now, if there is a secret. I hope this is helpful to you. You know I got a gift for you. Oh yeah. A complimentary copy of my first book, Association Hustle. If you will email me, jp@murraycompany.com, I'll give you a link and a little form for you to fill out your address, and I'll send you a copy. I look forward to chatting with you next week. Thanks for listening.
We hope you enjoyed this edition of JP Murray's Association Hustle Podcast. We'd love to connect with you. Check out our blogs at murraycompany.com and subscribe to our weekly newsletter. You can also connect with JP on LinkedIn and Twitter at JP Murray, as well as the Murray Company's Instagram and Facebook page. To purchase a copy of JP's book, Association Hustle, Top Strategies for Association Growth, go to jpmurray.com.